Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to do a little video on how to clean up all your case vents. These bad boys here, these lines that are laying all over your motor that some of you don't have any idea what they're for and where they go when you put the engine back on. I'm going to make that a whole lot more easy for you guys. So let's get started right now, shall we? We're going to do the easiest thing first here. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is we're going to pull this water pump cover off right here. And you'll just need a Phillips for that, unless you've got a stainless bolt kit. Then you'll need the Allen socket. So we're going to go ahead and take that off. I'm working out in my shop today because even though it's late September, the heat index right now is 110. It's ridiculous out here. I have a steel building and it gets really bad in there. My fan doesn't really do any good for me. Alright, so we have the cover off, and inside there you will see this little vacuum line. Well, it's not a vacuum line, I'm sorry. It's a little vent line with a small clip on it. Just take a pair of needle nose, grab this little clip, squeeze it, slide it back off of there, and get that hose off. Just like that. Okay, and then you can either clip this hose off right above this little deal here, clip it off here, or you can just clip it up here and take it out of there, because you're not going to need that anymore. So I'm just going to clip it, pull it out of the case, and then you see here on it, yeah, you see we have oil dripping. So the way you plug that up is you have to go down to the parts store and go to the help rack and look for a vacuum plug assortment, and they look like this. Find a camera. Here's little bitty rubber caps. They have assortments for like $4 or $5, all different sizes in there. So all you need, take one of those, stick it over, get a small one that'll fit good and tight. Stick it over, push it all the way on, and you're done. Then just wipe up your mess. Mine may be a little over full, because they usually won't drip like that when you pull a vent line off. Anyway, I just wipe that up, and then we can put our cover back on. We're done here. Okay. All right, so now we're done with that part. That's the quickest and simplest part. Alright, now we're on the other side of the bike. The rest isn't hard. It's just a little more time consuming. So now we're going to pull our side covers off, and we're going to pull our tank off. So turn off the fuel, and then we're going to disconnect the fuel line from the tank. Just like that. And then we'll pull our bolts out of our tank cover. All right. Now we can pull our tank cover right off and get down to our tank. To pull your tank off, you're going to have 4 screws. Four screws on it, and they're all 10mm bolts. Now I want to show you guys something. In the front of the tank, front tank bolts, if you look down in there, you will see you're gonna have a little spacer, and what that does is just keeps the bolt from smashing the rubber. So just be careful that you don't lose them. There, see there? You'll have 2 in the front, and you'll have just the screws in the back. All right, now we can lift our tank out. Okay, here we go. So this is the line we disconnected from here. We're done with that. It will run up here to this T. There's a T there. This hose that comes off the T and runs back to the back of the engine case, it hooks up to the transmission vent back here, right underneath that engine mount right here. Right underneath this mount here, it goes there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to disconnect it from this T right here for now. So give me just a sec. Let me get my camera back on the tripod. Okay, so we're going to disconnect it from there now. Okay. Now we're left with this hose coming from the back of the case. We won't worry about that for right now either. Okay, what we have left, again, is this hose that went down here to the water pump cover. And then we have this T here with this hose leading up to the radiator support. And it doesn't really go anywhere, it just vents into open atmosphere, which means it vents into the air. This hose here, you don't have to pull the tank if you don't want to. You can reach up as high as you can and clip it off, but I prefer to take them out of there. It's going to go up through this loop right here in the frame. It's going to go up under this little metal tab here, little hanger. You can kind of bend it down some and get it out of there. And then it's going to go back down through this one, and it'll pull right out. And that's it. There is your vent line. So at this point, you can go ahead and put your tank and everything back in. You're done there. So let's go ahead and finish up here with our rear case vent. Okay, now we're back here behind the quad, and I'm going to zoom in on the location of that vent. And again, you'll find it. It's right underneath the rear engine mount, down by where the fuel lines come through. So what we're going to do is just take and push it back through there. Like that. Reach around that shock and pull it all the way through. There we have it. Let me back up because I'm not sure if you can see. So I got it out here, see? Okay. Come back around this side. There's a lot of switching around here. Okay, so now we have it out the back right here. And what we'll do is just run it down with your carburetor vent lines. Run it down the same way. Run it down to the ground. And if it's too long, well, of course you can trim it off. Mine's pretty much where I want it to be. Yeah, it's a little long. I'll trim it off. Just trim it off the same length as your carburetor vent lines and you'll be good to go. Now on another note, if you stand your quad up a lot, or you say you stand it up to wash it, you stand it up to store it, stand it up to haul it, anything like that, doing it like that, 9 times out of 10, when you stand it up, it's going to leak gear oil on the floor. If you do stand it up a lot, then I recommend you take that vent line, instead of running it that way, I'm going to use a piece of what we took off here for an example. Instead of running it that way, okay, so your vent line is going to come from back here, right? You can run it along, and for instance, you can run it through this loop here where the parking brake cable is, and hide it best you can, and run it along the front of the engine. Like that. And then what you can do here, let's see, there, see, I've got it run along the top of the engine down the front, and then you can zip tie it either to that engine mount, or you can zip tie it to this frame right here, and then you'll be good to go. Just be sure you have it aiming down, so when you stand it up, you're not going to have any trouble with it leaking out. Alright, so that's it. That's all we have to do. This has been plugged off. We took care of our rear transmission vent. Now all we do is put it together. Alright, just a reverse procedure of everything we did. Take it apart. Take the gas tank, set it back in. Now you're gonna have these two bolts with the large washer on it like that. It's gonna go in the front. You got two more bolts that don't have anything on them. They're just plain bolts. Those go in the back because the back has those rubber grommets with the big washer on top. Now in the front, remember we had these. So it'll go over the bolt just like that. Don't forget your washer. All right, now we can tighten everything up. Then put our tank cover back on. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and hook up my fuel line. Turn the fuel back on. Then all we have left is our tank cover. Okay, we have all of our plastic bolts lined back up and put in, so now we just tighten those up. And that's it. That's all there is to doing I guess what they call a case vent delete. I just call it cleaning it up. So now you see we look a whole lot nicer there. We don't have those vent lines covering up the carbs and top of the cylinder head and all that good stuff. So now I guess we'll see if it'll still start.